This is a semi-boneless lamb quarter, and we are going to turn it into one of the most delicious appetizers you could ever make. Like literally, it is mind-boggling. I need to get this lamb quarter on the pit. We're using a Traeger today. I'm smoking with hickory, good 2 to 3 hours, get the bark that I'm looking for, get the color, get the smoke penetration, and then I'm just going to braise it in a liquid in the oven until it is just pull apart tender, and then we're gonna turn it into an egg roll. It's really hard to beat. But guys, I wanna make sure that I tell you, you can use any leftover barbecue that you have. Pulled pork, pulled ham, pulled chicken, lamb in this case, whatever you got, even brisket, guys, whatever you got, just make sure that it's pull apart tender so that you can put it inside the egg roll and it has a nice bite, and we don't need to cook it in the egg roll because it's already cooked. Let's get this seasoned on the pit. It is so cold outside, if you can't tell, my hands are freezing off and I need to get this seasoned. Let's do it. This is just some Greek seasoning. Never had it before, just bought it at my local grocery store, literally because it said the word Greek on it, and lamb, Greek, so come on, we gotta use it. I don't know how it tastes, but we're gonna give it a go. The only thing I'll say in regards to the lamb is last night I took it out of the cryovac, cut off any hard fat. A lot of that hard fat is responsible for some of that gamey flavor. Removed a good chunk of that, and then I just salted it with a 1% salt solution. I used kosher salt. This was a 2,200 gram lamb quarter, and so I used 22 grams of kosher salt. Put that in the fridge, let it dry brine, and now it's out, it's here. And so now I'm just gonna very simply season this pretty heavily. It's very windy outside, so I can't really get the coverage that I'm looking for, but that's okay. We will make sure that there's enough seasoning on this, and I thought about tasting this before, but I like to live on the edge, so we're just gonna see what happens when it's all said and done. Keep in mind, guys, this is gonna be pulled when it's all said and done, so I'm not really going too crazy with the seasoning because, frankly, while the lamb is the primary meat inside of our egg rolls aren't historically, they're not really all about the meat per se. So yeah, my point is I'm not too worried about dolling this thing up and shoving garlic in it and doing any kind of fancy cook. We're just gonna lay some smoke and then get a good braise going on so it's pull apart tender, and then it's going in an egg roll and we're deep frying it. Let me wash my hands and then let's get this on the Traeger. Onto the Traeger, here we go. I mean, it really doesn't get easier than that. I'm gonna roll 250 degrees until this is at about 170 internal, at which point I'm gonna put it in a foil pan with some liquid, turn the temperature up to about 275 degrees, and just roll it covered in a foil pan until it is about 200 to 205 degrees or pull apart, shreddable, tender. That's what we're looking for. Let's close this down and get the Traeger started. We're going 250, just like that. Bam! See you guys back in a couple hours. Now, in order to make our Christmas cranberry sauce, we need cranberries. These are dried cranberries, and I'm going in with 1 cup, and then I'm gonna add 3 cups of water. What I'm going after is that traditional sweet and sour duck sauce, that kind of thing, you know, that vinegary, sticky, sweet, that, you know, that sauce that we all love. That's what I'm going after, but I'm gonna make it Christmas, holiday inspired, and I'm going to make the base of it out of a cranberry sauce. The plan here is I'm gonna bring this to a simmer. I'm gonna let all of these cranberries rehydrate with this liquid, which is water as you saw. And then once the cranberries are tender and soft and our liquid has reduced to about 1 cup in total, we want 1 cup of liquid from the 3 cups that we put in there. Once it's reduced, it's going to be right and ready for the next stage of the process. Don't sleep on this sauce, guys. This is gonna set these deep fried lamb egg rolls off. I'll see you guys when we're ready for step 2 of our cranberry sauce. All right, let's talk lamb. Now, our cranberry sauce base, it's simmered and it's off to the side cooling down. While it was simmering, I took the opportunity to pull the cooled lamb, okay? I pulled the cooled lamb, meaning I cooked it fully yesterday. I put it in my refrigerator to rest. I pulled it out today, right before I was ready to pull it, and I pulled nice cold hunks of lamb off of the bone. At which point I took a knife and I just chopped and chopped and chopped. Now, why did I pull it and chop it cold? What I'm trying to do for this holiday appetizer is I want to the best of my ability, I want to mimic just a nice traditional egg roll, which is normally made with ground pork. It's just ground pork with cabbage, carrots, other fixings inside. We'll talk about the fixings later, but my point is that the ground pork that's inside of an egg roll that we're all used to, it's just nicely ground fine bits of pork. And so I thought about using pulled lamb for this recipe, which would more mimic, like pulled pork, that texture, that feel, that kind of stringiness. But instead I opted to chop it as fine as I felt like chopping it, just so that we can mimic that nice, evenly dispersed bite of lamb that you'd be used to getting in a pork egg roll. So that's that. All I'm gonna do is take some more of that Greek rub that I got, Zesto, Greek seasoning, and I'm just gonna hit this nice and evenly all throughout this lamb, just so that I can make sure that the meat that we're using inside of the egg roll has as much flavor as humanly possible. You guys use whatever you feel inclined to use, but like I said, saw it on the shelf, had the word Greek in it, and I figure I couldn't go wrong. If you're in the Midwest, you might be able to get this stuff. If you're not in the Midwest, you probably have more access to things than we have in the Midwest. All right, that's nice and combined. Let's go finish making our sauce so we can set that to the side. I'll walk us through how we're gonna assemble our egg roll, but before we can assemble the egg roll, we need to blanch some vegetables. Let's go make a sauce. Let's go blanch some vegetables. As you can see, our cranberry base is exactly where we want to. These cranberries have absorbed a lot of liquid, a lot of this water. They've puffed up and then they've gotten really tender and they've pushed out a lot of that sugar sweetness that gets condensed down into a dried cranberry. They've pushed it out into this liquid. This, my friends, this is really all we're looking for to make our base. Now, in order to make this cranberry Christmas sweet and sour egg roll deep fried dip sauce, we need to blend it. Done. Cranberry concentrate smoothie. The idea here is simple, my friends. What we're trying to do is just pull out the particulates, and we want to make a really smooth, luxurious base. Think ketchup. We're going for the consistency of ketchup. So those are the particulates. We don't want that. What's left in there is a beautiful base. And let me taste this. Oh my goodness, I could just eat that literally just like that. But we're gonna make it so much better so that it complements this lamb egg roll beautifully. Recipes in the description. I'm getting this on a medium-low heat and I'm gonna add in the following: granulated sugar, fish sauce, and then I'm going in with rice wine vinegar. At this point, the sauce is done, guys. It's done. Let's simmer this for about 3 to 5 minutes. Nothing crazy, just a nice light, even, easy simmer. Now here's the catch. If you want your sauce thicker and slightly stickier, you're going to want to simmer this longer. If you want it thinner and a little bit more runnier, you're going to want to simmer it for less time. I'm going for a happy medium, 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, somewhere in there. That's perfect, guys. That is really, really good. Let me put this off to the side, and now it's time to blanch some vegetables. This is your standard egg roll filling. Now, in order to get that proper 70-30, potentially 80-20 ratio that you're looking for, like I said, I get the bag that comes with the carrot in it, so it's about half carrot, half cabbage, or sometimes it'll be 60-40 cabbage to carrot. And then I got a standalone, even finerly, even more finely shredded cabbage here. And I mix it up and we get just the right ratio. Okay, enough talk. Let's boil some water. Water is just about at peak readiness to receive our first cabbage mix. And I just want to say this. You can see it in frame just a little bit. I just have a big foil pan lined with paper towels. You want to extract as much water as humanly possible out of your veggie mix before it goes into the egg roll wrap. And all I'm going to do once this is done is I'm going to keep it in this same strainer and just dump it directly into the ice water, move it around to stop the cooking process. All right, here we go. 90 seconds, guys. Just move it around. Does not need to be long. You are not trying to boil this into oblivion. All right. That's it. Directly into our ice water bath. You really, really, really want to try to keep as much moisture out of the egg roll as possible. I just stop when my paper towel is on the drier side. This is the second round of paper towels, and it's more dry than the last one, so that's all I need. But at this point, family, I believe we are ready to start making our egg rolls. Sauce done, veggies done, let's talk the secret ingredient. Yes, you're reading that right, Wagyu beef tallow. My friends, listen to me. If you have never had Wagyu beef tallow, I am telling you, you will never fry food the same way again. But honestly, if I'm frying French fries, chips, if I'm making brisket, if I'm doing anything and I want people to just have that subtle kind of like, what the heck is that going on, Marcus? Then I pull the Wagyu beef tallow out. I'll leave a link to this in the description so you guys can get it if you want. And I'm going in my cast iron Dutch with all of this, pretty much all of this. This is probably the most expensive egg roll I'll ever make in my life. But is it the most luxurious egg roll I've ever made? 100%. Guys, do you need to use Wagyu? No. No, you don't. You can easily go buy, you know, some $5 vegetable, canola oil, peanut oil, whatever you like to deep fry in. I'm just telling you, I wanted to pull out this stop. So I'm pretty excited. That's all I'm trying to say. It is egg roll creation time. Our cranberry Christmas sweet and sour sauce is done, and it tastes delicious. Almost just drank the whole thing on its own. Our veggies are blanched and ready to roll. Didn't overcook them. Obviously, they're going to be dropped in like 400-degree beef tallow, so I left them on a little bit of the crunchy side just to account for them being, well, fried. Now let's talk ratios. In a good egg roll, a good takeout egg roll, you're looking at about 90-10, maybe 80-20, and that's veg to meat. A good egg roll is not a hog of a bite, meaning it's not supposed to be just chock full of meat. So in saying that, I'm just gonna follow tradition. And when I say tradition, I don't even think egg rolls are traditionally Chinese cuisine. I think we invented that in America. So when I say traditional, I guess I just mean traditional American takeout egg roll. You know, the thing we're all used to. That's what I'm talking about. This is my vegetables. And when I say 10%, I'm just eyeballing it. I'm just gonna toss this in here and give it a little mix until I think it's where we'd want. All right, guys, that's our mix. That is a really healthy, even mix. We got more veg to meat, which is what I just got done talking about. I'll leave the percentages up to you and your preferences. Let's assemble some egg rolls. Egg roll 101. This is an egg roll wrapper, okay? You can buy these at any grocery store. Literally in the Midwest at Hy-Vee, I can buy egg roll wrappers. So if I can get them in the heartland, you can probably get them as well. There is a flour side and there is a non-flour side. You're gonna go flour side down, face the egg roll wrapper so that it literally points north, south, east, west. And then I'm just gonna get a handful of this mixture. Now, when it comes to the mixture, my friends, you're gonna actually, contrary to popular belief, you're gonna wanna put a little bit more than you think if you're doing this for the first time. But if you're doing this for the first time, there's a chance that you put more than you should. So what does that really mean for you? You're probably gonna mess it up the first couple times, and that's okay. Now, where these lines cut off at the midway mark, what I like to do is I like to take my pinkies, spread this out so it's right at the midway, and then I back it off the midway just a little bit. Like this, right behind the midway point. That's what we want. Nice. That looks good. Okay, from here, I have my little saucer of water. Now, this is just what I do. I don't know if this is right or wrong. I put a little dab there and there because I'm gonna roll this over. Put your hand down, pull this back like you would a burrito. We've all eaten Chipotle enough times to see them do the burrito. You're basically doing that. Now, the way that I like to do it is once this is over and rolled, I actually like to roll it almost one more time just to get it in there nice and tight. You might lose some filling on this next step, but that's totally fine. And I fold this up like so. That's gonna stick. Same thing over here. And now, more water. I'm bringing this back down like so. Guys, if you're like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that, I promise you, This is so easy. It's so easy. You really should make these around the holidays. This is the egg roll. This is the perfect size. It's going to expand once it's dropped in that heat, so you kind of want to account for that. That one's done. Let me whip up a couple more, and then we need to deep fry these off. I am so ready to eat. I'm just ready to eat them. All right. Into the beef tallow we go. Go 3 at a time. I'm sure one of these are going to explode open or do something highly unfortunate. See, that guy's doing it right there. See how they're floating? We have just enough. Tallow or grease coupled with not making them too gigantic. This one's starting to unravel on us, but it should hold together. Hold together, little guy. We need you. We believe in you. All right, family, an egg roll should not take too long. You're talking 2 to 5 minutes max. This grease is screaming hot. I'm anywhere between, I don't know, 375 to 425 degrees. I'm somewhere in there, and that's where we want to roll these at. All you're looking for is for the exterior to turn into that quintessential golden brown that we all know an egg roll to be, at which point pull it out. You do not want to overcook your egg roll. You really don't. All the filling on the inside is already cooked, so at this point we're literally just dropping it in the grease to fry off the egg roll wrap, get the color that we're looking for, get the crunch and the snap that we want, and then they're done. Let me roll through the rest of these egg rolls. I'll see you guys back when it is time to eat them, and I couldn't be more excited. Family, we did it. The egg rolls are done. The aroma, the smell, the texture is just, it is chef's kiss. Hickory smoked lamb wrapped in an eggshell wrapper, deep fried in beef tallow that happens to be Wagyu beef tallow with a Christmas cranberry sauce atop. Are you kidding me? Oh, whoa. I am not being dramatic. That bite right there, look at this. That bite right there, yeah. Ho, ho, ho. Whoa. Whoa. I don't know what I just made. Hey, I'm being honest with you guys. This might be one of the greatest egg rolls I've ever had in my entire life. The tang and sweetness coming off this cranberry Christmas sweet and sour sauce, mixed with that hickory smoke, the little bit of spice from that seasoning we put on there, and then kind of cut with just the flavor of lamb. Like if you don't like lamb, I don't really know what to tell you. If you do like lamb, you're gonna love this. I would say if you've never had lamb, try it like this first, because it's certainly not as lamb forward, but the flavor's still there. That is fire. Whoa, man. That's one of the best creations I've ever made. You gotta make this on the Christmas table. And if not Christmas, do it for New Year's. Just appetize your people. And guys,